Y'all, I'm gonna be so real. I've been sitting here waiting on OBS to open. It's been open this whole time. I actually edited, my stream information on it like 10 minutes ago. I it's these things that make me just like concerned for my future, I'm getting dementia this early, and I don't know, man. It's insane. It's crazy. It's crazy, crazy, crazy. But yeah, welcome everybody. Thank you guys for being here. There's gonna be an ad that runs here in just a second, so I'm trying to figure out what to say before we get started. We're playing Minecraft. I'm loading it up now to verify that the server is on and that it's all working the way it needs to, and we'll just be on and chilling, essentially. I don't really have much of a plan for today. And then while we do that, and before we do that, we'll be chatting about Pokemon Presents. It was Pokemon Day today. So we'll be chatting real quick about that stuff before we get good and playing. So thank y'all for being here, as always. I hope y'all enjoy. Why is the thing not showing up? There's supposed to be an ad, guys. Come on, there's supposed to be an ad. Come on, hey, there it goes. Now there's an ad. It should be starting in a couple seconds. But okay. Again, thank you guys for being here, for chilling. I'm gonna play us a song, and we'll get on with it. See you in a sec. Brand new song there from one of my favorite groups, Hotel Apache. That is all the days. Welcome, everybody. Thank you guys so much for being here. Welcome back to the channel. Man, it's Friday. I cannot believe that it is somehow already Friday. Good Lord. This week has been insane. I know that I've mentioned bits and pieces of it on our other two streams on Monday and Wednesday. But holy cow. We just finished this big training class at work of new folks, and in the same... this whole week has been their first actual week of work and getting them acclimated to doing the job, and most of them have done absolutely flawless. We haven't had to worry about them. A couple of them we were kind of a little rocky at the start, but they all did great. But man, just running all over the place. I have been exhausted this week. It's a different kind of tired this week than the previous ones, though. But hey, let's go ahead and get started. As the title mentions, we're playing Minecraft today. It's been a hot minute since I actually played on the server. Actually, I think it's been a full week. I didn't play at all on Saturday or Sunday, I think. And obviously I didn't play Monday because we were streaming and you guys saw me play Mass Effect. So it's been a hot minute since we've been on, so we'll have to do a tour of the last things that we did on here. What I actually want to start with, though, and I think it's pulled up, or there's the game actually. I'm gonna mute the game capture because it's window capture. I forgot it doesn't use game capture on this one, right? Yeah, we don't even use game capture on this scene. What I first want to talk about is actually this. Pokemon Winds and Waves. This was the highlight of the morning for me. I've been looking forward to this Pokemon Present because this is my first... actually, no, it's not. This is my second Pokemon anniversary that I've actually been a Pokemon fan for. I started playing... Actually, no, this was the first. I've seen a couple Pokemon Presents, but it's not like Pokemon Day, right? There's a difference, I think. But I think, if I remember correctly, I started playing Pokemon Violet in about a year ago now, in end of March, early April, I think, of 2025. And since then, I've played all of Violet. I've played all of Sword. I'm still playing through Legends ZA, which, big news about that, which we'll talk about later. And then I have plans to play Pokemon Legends Arceus, Pokemon Scarlet, and then now, obviously, Winds and Waves that got announced today. I just wanted to watch the unveil, the reveal trailer and whatnot together and kind of just chat about it real quick. So if you will entertain the idea, essentially, we'll talk real quick about this. So in case you haven't heard, this is going to be Generation 10, the first Nintendo Switch 2 exclusive Pokemon game, which I think it's kind of crazy, honestly, the fact that I know the console only came out in the last few months, back half of 2025. I'm surprised there hasn't been a Pokemon game that's exclusive to the Switch 2. I'm surprised it didn't launch with one, or at least really close to launch with one. I know Pokecopia, I think it may have came out today or a day or two from now. That's the Animal Crossing style. You're building a city, but you're a Ditto instead of an actual person trainer or whatever. Which, by the way, the game looks really cool. I'm not much into the Animal Crossing or Stardew Valley style games. But that is one that I have considered when I do eventually get a Switch to. But yeah, simultaneous worldwide release in 2027, Winds and Waves. Pokecopia comes out, thank you, ma'am. Pokecopia comes out March 5th to the 6th, so end of next week, actually. Yeah, so again, that's not that far away, but I don't know why. I just kind of expected there to be a like exclusive Pokemon game before then for the Switch 2. I'm glad this is the first like mainline game though, because when you see this, it's pretty fantastic. So let me pull it up. Hold on. Click on the YouTube video above. You'll leave. I need to watch his reaction because M&J TV is a guy that I watch often. Not responsible for content on linked websites, blah, 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 blah. Okay, you're just telling me that I'm going to YouTube if I open this. All right, anyway, let me take it off the auto. We'll go 1080p. All right, here we go. If it's too loud, let me know. Okay. So it really confused me at first when I saw this first section. I am going to kind of commentate over a little bit of it because there's no actual like spoken commentary. It took me a really long time to figure out like what this first section was, like what it was even showing us, and it took until we got to the Gen 5 version for me to understand what this was. This is a look through all of the generations of Pokemon. So that was Gen 2. This is Gen 3, I think. Actually, no, I misspoke. So here's Gen 5, here's Generation 6, this is where Legends EA is also happening in Lumio City. There's Gen 7, Gen 8, that's Sword and Shield, Gen 9, that's Scarlet and Violet, and that's a small preview. Hey Pikachu. When this reveal happened, a little bit more. When the screen faded to white like that and then showed us two regional, like, or two, like, new Pikachu forms, I can't even tell you the sigh that came out of my mouth, dude. I was so, like, disappointed. And then it flips to this, and I was like, is that it? Is that all they're showing us of Gen 10? Are you kidding me? And then suddenly, there you go. I want to pause it here, actually. Not representative of actual gameplay experience, but screenshots and footage are from a product in development and not final. The stuff we see is in development and isn't final, and it's going to look as good as... Hold on, let me skip back a little bit. Just want you to appreciate how good this thing looks. Like, what? And also, the characters look fantastic. I really like the design of the outfits for this game. The water, like, holy cow. Like, look at the freaking water. There's Gen 8 Pokemon there with Scolipede. Not Scolipede. Is that Sizzlepede, I think? Love the new catch animation and the new sounds. There's Sandygast, so we know Gen 9 stuff's gonna be here. The environments look so good. Like, holy cow, they look so good. And then we got to this part, and oh my god, when I tell you, I was freaking out. I saw the back, I was like, obviously you can tell that these are the starters, but I was freaking out. And then these three guys show up, and oh my god. While I may be fairly new to Pokemon as a series, I only started playing, Violet in its, final full year, right? I still, like, I've interacted with people in and out of the, like, Pokemon community and whatnot. Like, my brother, who's in chat right now, Captain Nemo 3, he's been, he's liked Pokemon longer than I have. And so I'm sure that he's heard part of it. Hey, you got a Chimchar. That's pretty great. But I'm sure he's heard part of it, and I texted him about this earlier with him and my other brother. I remember people, like, absolutely hating Generation 9's starters. Like, I remember that vividly. I don't remember the general reaction to Gen 8. I know people hate, the final Evo of Sobble. I think it's Sobble, right? The water lizard. I remember people hating Gen 7 for some reason, even though Gen 7 has one of the best trios. But I say that to say, I've already seen people hating on this trio. And while I can understand some of their points, I personally love these three. Like, Yes, yes. People got so upset about Paldea's starters, and honestly, two of the three of Paldea's starters are on my like top. I would say they're in the top half of my favorites in terms of the starters. They're all very close together personally, but Grass and Fire, so Masquerada and Skeledirge are in the top half for me at least. And the only reason why I say it's just those two is only because I've not used Quaxley. I've not seen Quaxley except for my fight with the director at the end of Violet when I used Skeledirge. So I don't know. I'm not gonna pass full judgment on that. But anyway, these starters, I think they look great. I love them. It's gonna be hard for me to figure out what I'm picking when I do play Winds and Waves. Only because it's gonna be a new OC, so a new like trainer in my headcanon story or whatever. Plus the fact, yeah, freaking underwater biomes. You couldn't get near the water in what is it, Scarlet and Violet, except when you're on your ride or whatever. And now it's expected you're gonna be able to go in the water in 3D, which is insane. Winds and Waves, baby. And yeah, simultaneous release in 2027. It's insane. But yeah, so I think all three starters are pretty great, to be honest. But like, look at this. This is gorgeous. And to kind of piggyback on this little excerpt of a sentence right there, it's going to be released exclusively to the Switch too. While I can understand arguments, yeah, I love the idea of dive mechanics in the game. Haven't been there since like Gen 4 or 5. I think it was Gen 4, if I remember correctly. The funniest thing to me about the whole trailer is obviously IGN, big gaming news, conglomerate, whatever. Way back when, actually, I think I got a screenshot of it, so I can tell you exactly which game it was. Way back when, they gave a really bad rating to, it was Alpha Sapphire. So that was, Alpha Sapphire was what? That was Gen 5, but a remake of Gen 3, I think. Am I remembering that correct? But they gave Alpha Sapphire a 7.8, and Oras was Gen 6. Okay. So yeah, but they gave it to Alpha Sapphire. They gave it a 7.8. And like the biggest reason why it got that score and not a higher score was literally, quote, it had too much water, which is like a main feature of the game, right? And on Twitter, they posted that is a lot of water and posted a couple of these screenshots in a tweet, and the Pokemon Company decided to be a bit of a troll and give in a reply to the tweet said 7.8 out of 10, which I think is genuinely so funny. So, but yeah, man, the environment looks so good. I really am excited. Looking at the main characters, I love the outfits. I think really the only major difference is the color of their backpacks, the color of their hats, or correction, not the hats. The color of their backpacks and the color of their little, like, what I can only assume is a skateboard, essentially. And then obviously they have different hats. This is, I think, one of the only Pokemon games that doesn't have a clear red or blue color scheme. Like, there was a bit that I saw when I first started playing Pokemon Violet, where it's like every Pokemon game fits into either a Pokemon Red chain or Pokemon Blue chain. And like Violet and Sword, they were both blue games, so I'm probably going to pick the blue game in this case. But there's not an obvious red or blue. I'm thinking Waves in this case is the blue. Exactly, yeah. Waves is obviously blue, because there's so much more blue, so then by default Winds is red. although it's not like it's obviously not going to be super red, like, you know, Shield and Scarlet and Red and like, you know, Ruby or whatever. But whatever. I think I think the outfits are fantastic. I'm really looking forward to having my new little trainer character in Waves. But I'm for sure choosing Waves, I think, out of the two. And again, it does look like just different colors. Actually, the backpack looks different between the two. I didn't notice that. I wonder. I know that I've done my best to. That's true. I was gonna say I know there's one other exception, Black and White and Black and White 2. I think with Black and White 2 though, it is a bit more obvious because because like Zekrom and what is it, Reshiram and Zekrom? What am I thinking of? Oh yeah, I forgot about Gold and Silver. But yeah, like something about Black and White 2. What the box art legendaries have like a clear red and blue in their like tails or whatever. Oh no, that is what it is. It was Reshiram, Zekrom, and Kyurem is who I was thinking of. I was like, I couldn't remember who the third one was in that case. First partner Pokemon, quote unquote first partner. So Brout the Bean Chick, Pombon the puppy, and Gekka the water gecko. Is it Gekwa? It may be Gekwa. I really can't decide who I'm gonna want to pick, truthfully. And I was talking with my brothers about this. I'm gonna wait to pass like full judgment on the three until we see what the final evolutions look like. Because like if you look at the Paldea starters, they're like first stage. I love all three's first stage, but then as soon as you get to the second stage and then the third stage for each one, it's like, okay, I not a huge fan of one or the other, right? And that's how it is for a lot of the starters. Yeah, Gekwa. Yeah, that's right. But honestly, I think they look great. I think my biggest decision is going to be between Brout and Gekwa, only because despite being a self-appointed like water starter lover, like I absolutely love the water starters. Every Pokemon game that I've actually played, I've picked a fire starter. My first playthrough of Paldea, I picked Skeledirge. My second game I've ever played through, Sword, I picked Cinderace. And then in Legends ZA, I picked Tepig, whatever Tepig's final evolution, Imbor. I picked Imbor. I do know for Legends Arceus, when I do start playing it, I am going with the water starter. I do like Oshawott the best out of the three for Hisui. But I know for certain with Gen 10, unless for whatever reason that the grass and water starters end up awful in their final evolution, I know that I'm not picking Pombon for my first playthrough, at least. I'm still trying to decide what I'm going to pick for Fire Red Leaf Green, because when I was playing through PokeMMO with Chris and Kyle, which we are still trying to finish our Gen 1 playthrough in that, I picked Bulbasaur, and so I'm trying to figure out... I really just need to figure out like a team builder. I need to look at the team builder and figure out for sure, you know, what team can I make. You're shining hunting Bulba right now? Dang. I'm sure you know about that like soft reset. You push a couple buttons and it's like it just reloads automatically. But yeah, I know for sure that I'm not going to pick Pombon for my first playthrough. So it's going to be based off of the final evolutions of what they look like, whether I'm going to choose Brout or Gekwa. I do think all three look great as long as they keep Pombon and Gekwa quadrupedal. Gekwa, I can kinda understand if it goes bipedal, but it needs to be a very short bipedal. It does not need to turn into the Sobble to Inteleon situation, because I love Sobble. I love what Sobble looks like. And honestly, I don't mind the middle stage evolution. But there is just something about Inteleon that I just do not like. Don't like Inteleon. So I don't necessarily need Gekwa to stay quadrupedal, but I would much prefer it if he did. Do like a Skeledirge situation. Skeledirge on multiple occasions, on multiple different moves, will stand up bipedal and do something. Like Torch Song, it's one of its signature moves. I think it is its signature move, Torch Song. It stands up on its hind legs and grabs that little microphone stand and sings its little Torch Song. That I think is cool. I like that. But Pombon better stay a quadrupedal dog. I swear to everything. I will burn insert region name here down if that dog turns into a bipedal something. I'm just being honest. But I do like that we already have some like Pokedex information about it. Runs energetically while photosynthesizing using the leaves on its brow. It's lively but also a little bit clumsy. But yeah, no, I love the three. Mr. Windy Chew, Miss Wavy Chew, I think look pretty cool. I really am excited for Gen 10. A bunch of the other announcements that they gave during the whole thing, I think were pretty cool as well. In the GameCube, Nintendo Switch Online stuff, talking about Gales of Darkness. That is a game that I've wanted to play but never been able to, because obviously I don't have an N64 and it's really hard to find copies of that game. And so if I wasn't already planning on getting a Nintendo Switch 2, or correction, I was planning on getting a Switch 2 for Winds and Waves. But honestly, I might think about getting one sooner because I want to play Gales of Darkness. That's the one with the Shadow Lugia, which I think is still one of the coolest looks a Legendary has ever had. There was another alternate form that's not in the Pokedex from the same game, and it's I think it's Dialga. It's like Dialga with like orange accents, where like the silver would normally be on its like regular form. It's like a bright orange. It looks so cool. But yeah, anyway, that was the biggest thing that I want to talk about. I just think I really am looking forward to the whole thing. But welcome to Minecraft. Servers on, ready to go. I'm gonna get it switched to either by the end of the year or middle of next year. Honestly, yeah, that's probably about my same time frame. I'm imagining like sometime between my birthday and Christmas is when I'm probably gonna think about getting a Switch 2, honestly. I'm still yes, Shadow Mewtwo as well. Yeah, like genuinely some of like those three, Shadow Lugia, Shadow Mewtwo, and I guess it would then be called Shadow Dialga or something. Three of the coolest alternate forms for the legendary Pokemon that I think I've ever seen, and I hate that it's sequestered to just that. I know obviously it's not going to get home support, it's not going to get anything like that. So it'll be sad to leave those in Gales of Darkness, but man, that's a game that I'm looking forward to seeing. But yeah, let's see. Let me tour you guys around in case you haven't seen what's going on in here, and then we'll figure out what we're actually doing today on Minecraft. Whether or not it's just gonna be me and my brother in the chat chatting about Pokemon stuff. Honestly, I'm completely fine with that being 2 hours of this stream, just being that whole process. So, quick tour, in case you haven't seen it, this is the house. We currently live underground, under a beautiful flower biome called the Allium Shrubland. And yeah, man, it's a gorgeous place. Beautiful. I found this little, like, dungeon thing, and now I live here. We have our two guards, Lack of Brain Cell 1 and Lack of Brain Cell 2. We love them dearly. Did he just roll? God. This is the epitome of we have no brain cells, but I love them both. These are two of my favorite Pokemon ever. This one is my favorite Pokemon ever. Hey, buddy. Hey, buddy. Hello. We love Wooper here. But Esper, because of ZA, I've renewed my love of lack of brain cell. Having been around Emma's for those few missions, kind of funny. I have multiple of you. It's just you. Okay. Why did you not catch on fire? Caught on fire. That's weird. But yeah, so we come into the house. We've got nether access. I am honestly, this might be something that we do today. Is try and develop the nether side of this this thing. We're in this bubble, so like there's no actual way. You have to go up through there and find exactly the right spot to get out. So it's a great little area that I'll have to develop at some point. Primal Dialga. Oh, it's from Mystery Dungeon. I did not know that. I thought it was from the same game, or from Gales of Darkness. Mystery Dungeon. Okay. Yes, thank you, Bulbapedia. We've got our enchanting room full, I believe, full enchanting power. Our extended storage area with these huge chests of stuff. We've got our Pokemon operations room. So PC, healing table, our healing machine, data monitor, fossil analyzer, pasture block, restoration tank, and reassembly units. And then we've got our general Minecraft building and storage and whatnot. I built these two in the last stream, I believe. So here is our brand new kitchen. We've got 2 full stoves. We got pots running and baking things. And then we've got our still slightly in progress bedroom. We've got our wide fancy bed, special thing, and then we've got our little like portal style. Like we do up here with the meteoroid blocks that came from the Megastone meteorites, funnily enough. But yeah, that's the place. Well, let's see. There was one big thing that I wanted to mention, and it's something that was talked about a bit in general in the Discord. Which, by the way, if you haven't joined, you guys should join. But we talked about it quite a bit in general, I think, or maybe it was game news, one of the channels, and it's the fact that Wind and Waves is a Switch 2 exclusive, and I don't want to add fuel to a fire and make people mad at me for saying certain things, so I'm not gonna like say anything specifically. If you want to go look at the conversation, you're more than welcome to. Honestly, it bothers me so little that it's on a Switch 2, and I know that may, to some, seem like, hey, it's obviously it's a luxury. If you can afford a Switch 2, great. If you can't, then it's something that you'll have to miss out on until you're able to, I guess. But the part that I saw arguments for outside of the server, like outside of the argument that was, or the conversation rather, I keep saying argument, it was a conversation, outside of the conversation that was actively happening in that Discord, it obviously game developers should be working on like optimizing their games and getting it to run on hardware that shouldn't require the most brand new thing to run everything, right? And on one hand, I kind of agree with that. Like, if you've had a machine for a while, you get used to it. You want to keep it as long as you can, and continue using it for what you did. And I genuinely, again, I can totally understand that argument. I understand that side of the situation. But on the other hand, and this is something that I did mention in that's a hoot hoot. That's something I did mention in that group. The Switch itself came out in 2017. That is, and the Switch 2 came out last year. That is the longest distance between two consoles in, in Nintendo history. Everything else is typically like 5 years between. And I know that, Nintendo's not making specific handheld versus consoles anymore. Like, the Switch is, filling both niches. But, like, it's been 8 years since the first Switch. And the only real upgrade to that the Switch got in its lifetime was, the OLED situation. Exactly, and that was exactly the point that I was trying to make in the chat, or in that conversation. The Switch 2, and let me pull up this little graphic. I can't pull it up on stream, but I can read it out to you guys. I looked at this. The Switch 2 operates off of a chip that came out in 2020. The Switch used one from 2012. So, but both were 5 years behind, when the first thing came out. But it's a case of the Switch is something from 2012, Switch 2 is something from 2020. Newer, faster chip. Like, it makes things run better. The GPU, it's a newer GPU. Better architecture, it means you can run things better. Genuinely. Your GPU cores, I'm not going to read the specific numbers, but it essentially means, using the exact same thing as comparison, it's 6 times better. That is an incredible jump while keeping a similar form factor. I think that's so cool that they're able to put out that much stuff. Same thing with, there's another thing, it's like essentially 6 times more graphics capability if utilized well. The memory size, the base memory for a Switch was 4 gigs. The new memory size on the Switch 2 is 2 6 gigs, which means 12 gigs in total. You can run things longer, better, faster on that in that situation. Your memory it's a newer gen, uses less power, meaning you can run in handheld mode longer. Better, it has 4K capability. It's got 4K docked capability. Cue Daft Punk. It's got, obviously not everybody's going to use the C button and the whole voice chat in the thing. Like, obviously we've got Discord, and whatever comes along after it, if they don't get their act together with this whole age verification thing, that most people are using. So like sure, that thing's not that great, but the thing as a whole, the Switch 2 is just genuinely better. And I honestly think that that's why they labeled it as a Switch 2 and not as a new console. Sure, we would like a brand new console that, has all of the capability that we could want, and is this big thing that revolutionizes the next area of Pokemon, or Nintendo games in general, not just Pokemon, but Nintendo games in general. But at the same time, I just want to see, things look better. I thought Scarlet and Violet was fine on the Switch. I had to play docked constantly because my screen broke at some point when I was transporting it one of my first times. So I've hardly ever gotten to use it in handheld mode. And so, like, having one that runs better in handheld mode, I think is great. But exactly like Owen said, with new technology, it allows you to change how you make games, and it opens up the avenues to make things better. Scarlet and Violet was great. Once they got it fixed, though, Scarlet and Violet, what I felt was too ambitious for what they were trying to do for the Switch. And it did. Scarlet and Violet genuinely did suffer at the beginning because of hardware issues. Granted, the software itself wasn't that great to start. Like, they genuinely did have, software issues that they had to go back and fix. But with better hardware, you can do more. And again, that's why I pointed out so heavily the whole, this is development footage. you know for a fact that they are testing this with the Switch 2 console. And if that's what development footage looks like, we know that there's more capability that they can force out of the Switch 2. And that game, that preview looks genuinely so good. I completely agree. I think Winds and Waves is going to be everything Scarlet and Violet wanted to be and more. I think I will say it is something I do miss about Scarlet and Violet, having been playing, Sword and Shield, with Dynamaxing, and now Legends ZA with Mega Evolution. I genuinely liked Terrestrialization. I will miss Terrestrialization when whatever new battle gimmick comes out for Winds and Waves. But I think the fact that it's going to be able to do it better, I will be able to look past my want of Terrestrialization. And truthfully, I'm not even going to miss it that much because freaking Pokemon Champions comes out in April. That was another thing that was announced. I'm really looking forward to Pokemon Champions. I am never going to be the type that's like super into competitive Pokemon, right? Like I've mentioned, I am a very casual gamer. I play games simply for the fun of games, and if I'm not having fun with the game, I stop playing the game. Or rather, I don't start in the first place. That is sometimes what happens. And so, like, I'm never gonna be like super into competitive, and Champions is simply just going to be, practicing, getting better at, anticipating moves, and honestly, I'll play Champions to make me better at playing the base game, so the base game is easier. That's essentially what's gonna happen. Exactly. I don't like food, I love it, and if I don't love it, I don't swallow. That's literally me with games. And I did see that speculation is a weather-based gimmick. I don't really know how that's going to work, because we already do have, like, terrain, modifications, like, and battle arena modifications. Like, we've got, like, Arena Trap, Trick Room, electric terrain, psychic terrain, grassy something, what's another one? Sandstorm. Like, we've got weather and battle effects. I do wonder how they're going to manage doing something like that, because I think it's genuinely cool. I would love to see how that works. But I'm sure we'll have to wait until we get closer to 2027 when that comes out. I wonder, I'm trying to remember, because again, I wasn't there for the beginning of Scarlet and Violet. Was there like a video or like Pokemon Presents about like what Terrestrialization was? Like, I'm sure they showed it in a trailer and everybody was like, ooh, what's this thing? Did they ever like go through a trailer or something like that? Because I'd imagine that's what they're gonna do for whatever this new gimmick is. But yeah, I really like Terrestrialization. Mega Evolution's pretty cool. Having not experienced it directly in a turn-based battle mechanic, I'm not gonna be able to pass judgment. What are you doing down here, buddy? Be careful around the fire, please. Don't hurt yourself. I thought Dynamax was okay. Honestly, I didn't use it enough to really be like, yeah, I loved it. Because I'll be honest, I played most of the game without it. It was a campaign, or I say a campaign. I played too many action games. It was a story that really, I felt, could have used more reason to use Terrestrialization. Not Terrestrialization, Dynamax. Now, there were some moments where it was like, yeah, Dynamax your Pokemon to do this. But most of those battles, I was able to get through without it. I'll be honest. If I'm trying to remember, I don't even remember doing it in my final fight with Leon. I'm trying to think. I'd have to ask Chris. I don't know if Chris. I don't think Chris is watching. I think he's already at his destination. And if he's not at his destination, he's actively driving. So I don't want to be like, hey, do you remember? But yeah. I'd like to have better if G-Maxing was not like to DLC. I 100% agree. If honestly, because all of the gym leaders after your first two, when you fight, at least for me, my last one was the fire guy, and I don't know if it's the same order for everybody. I assume it is, but yeah, Kabu. But once you fight Kabu, he was the first one to use Gigantamax, or I think Dynamax at all. But it's definitely Gigantamax, and then every gym after that used it in some form, but there was no way to use it yourself. And which I definitely think is an interesting decision. But then yeah, to lock it behind a DLC I think is incredibly stupid. I did not agree with that, honestly. I mean, the DLC was fun. I don't know, man. I don't know what it was about Sword. I breezed through Sword. It took me forever to get through Violet. Just because there was so much to do in C, and I wanted to do the Pokedex, and I did as much of the Pokedex as I could stomach, and then suddenly, oh yeah, there's DLC to this game, and so then I played through Teal Mask and Indigo Disc, which Teal Mask, fantastic DLC. Loved the story of that one. And I think the way that it ties into Indigo Disc works perfectly. Like, I love the story of Kieran, and in your player character, and how they interact, and the fact that there's special interactions based on what Pokemon you have. Like, if you use Ogerpon against him when you're at Blueberry Academy in Indigo Disc, he says something like special for it. I intentionally built my Indigo Disc team with Ogerpon for that reason. Not that I would have left Ogerpon behind anyway. Ogerpon's a fantastic legendary. Honestly, the fact that Ogerpon's one of the weakest legendaries, I think, but in if you use it right, it's insane. I love Ogerpon. I wish that I can't wait for Champions. That's really what all of this is. I cannot wait for Champions. Just because I'll get to battle with Pokemon, or battle using. It's exactly what it was. I'm pretty sure that's word for word what he said. Wooper, God, I told you to be careful. I knew that was gonna happen. As soon as he walked into the kitchen, I saw it. Where is he? Dang it, Wooper. God, this freaking... There we go. Don't hurt yourself, god dang it. But yeah, no, again, I'm so looking forward to it. I still need to finish the, finish Legend ZA. I finished the main story of the Mega Dimensions DLC, I think, what, 2 or 3 nights ago? Fantastic final fight. For all the crap that ZA gets, and some of it is completely valid, in my opinion, I think the Mega Dimensions DLC did a really good job with its, additional story. And I'm not gonna spoil anything directly, just because I know that there's folks in the community that do play and may not have had a chance to play the DLC yet, namely Chris. Yeah, that's another thing I'm working towards. I want to... ZA is one game where it's like I want to fill out the Pokedex. And it's not going to feel like an insane chore to do. Now, obviously, I think the way that you enter hyperspace and do all that. I think it could have been done a little bit better. It's really annoying sometimes trying to get your ratios right of your berries to turn into donuts, to turn into whatever else have you. But yeah, I genuinely I think they did a really good job. I'm working towards finishing. I still haven't finished the epilogue of Legend ZA, and I think as I work towards finishing the epilogue of the DLC, I'll also work more towards the main game. There was one plot point which I was like, I don't really want to have to experience, because it's gonna be sad. Because it did get slightly spoiled for me, and so I went into the DLC first, and then now I'm facing the consequences of doing that. So now I have to, go back and whatever else. Oh, that was the other thing. Speaking of Legend ZA, I recently, as in during my errands that I was running, and part of the reason why my stream is so late today, I picked up a very rudimentary capture card. And this capture card is going to let me essentially port the output of my Switch to this card. I'll still be able to put it up on a monitor of mine, but then I can also send that feed to my computer, which means I'll be able to put it into OBS. I'll be able to share it as a screen, as if I'm in like Discord, as if it's a random, thing like that. So when I start, I plan on playing through Scarlet with a new OC character at some point. I'm trying to decide if I'm going to try and stream myself playing that. I want to finish Mass Effect first, and that's going to be all 4 games. We're almost finished with Mass Effect 1, so I want to finish that first before I consider doing it. But I may just come by and be like, hey, here's where I am in the game. Honestly, I may test that out with when I play through Legends Arceus. I'll stream a day or two a week, or I'll stream it a day or two a week. Obviously not making it my main content, because I like, specific story, specific games. Not that Pokemon doesn't have a story. Obviously, you're playing through a story. But again, right now that's Mass Effect. Next, it's gonna be... I'm really trying to decide what the next will be. Because I've got a couple options, but I don't want to start through a series if I'm not going to go through the series. Like right now, in case you haven't seen Chris, he's on Twitch. You should totally go and follow him as well. Twitch name is Euby, EUBY. Little pumpkin man on Twitch. But he's playing through the Metal Gear games, like the whole Metal Gear series. That's a series that I would love to play as well. I think Metal Gear 4 comes out here soon on one of the Master Collections, which I think will be great. Truly the only other big one that I was really looking at recently was Metal Gear. But that's a really long series. Metal Gear is... And the way I'll be playing it is going to be the dumbest way to play Metal Gear. If you've never played any of the Metal Gear games, they are not told in order. If you play them in release order, you will not understand the story in order. Funnily enough, the game that came out in 2015, Phantom Pain, it's the most recent actual standalone story in the series. It's set at the beginning of the story of Metal Gear, which I think is incredibly funny, given what you see and do in that game. So again, trying to decide in that regard what I'll do. How much was the capture card? I'd love to stream record Pokemon. If I remember correctly, it was like 25 bucks. I will see what kind of quality it has. I'm skeptical. It's a $25 capture card, so it's not going to be great. But you should stop by when I'm streaming from it at some point, and let me know how you think it is from a chat perspective. I swear to God, if y'all blow up. Boop-a-doop-a-doo, give me your honey. Oh God, angry bees. Angry. Oh. That's so much health it literally doesn't even bother me. I'm just like, just jumping and hoping I make. Oh, that's a creeper. Oh, that's a creeper. Oh, let me put back on my boots. There you go. I will say, I don't know what kind of actual streaming hardware you have, but it would still require some form of streaming hardware for you. But no, I think that'd be cool if you did it as well. I know at some point, I don't know if it was you who told me or if it was our mother talking about, you talking about it. I I think I'm still like, I'm a few streams away from getting like my first quote-unquote paycheck from Twitch, and it's literally only because Chris, thank you Chris for this, by the way, but it's only because Chris gifted like 5 people subs the other day, and I gifted at least 1, which granted that's money is already mine, so it's coming right back to me. But it's really funny how like from those subs and all the ads I ran recently, and like specifically during the Infinity Day, it was like, here's $10, good job. I'm just like, oh okay, thanks Twitch. So just like, I'm so glad that I'm not banking anything more than just entertainment value on streaming, because that is all I have to provide. It's really funny. And obviously I have crazy friends who decide to hop in chat and call me Stinky constantly. Looking at you, Fox, for that specifically as well. Which reminds me, I know your real name because we've been friends for ages. It's every time I go to say Fox, I'm just like, okay, I can't say her name, can't say her name. I just say Fox or Alina, or one or the other. Or both at the same time. It's really funny. I don't know if she's even in the chat. I think in her Discord server right now they're doing like community movie night or something. Which if I wasn't actively streaming right now, I would be in. But that was something funny I noticed recently. It's like I need to like stop thinking about the name and just say the streamer name. Really funny. But man, I came to stream with like literally zero plan, and I picked Minecraft only because it was the one that I could be the most just like chill about and just sit and chat. But now that I don't have anything directly to chat about, I'm just like, all right, well, what am I doing here? Let's see, what else can we chat about? What was something else that was unveiled? So Pokecopia mentioned that it's now going to have multiplayer support, which I think is pretty sick. You'll be able to go visit other people's little cities. Going to you can have a shared city as well, I think they explained, which I think is incredibly cool. There's a new Rotom form, which I think would be really cool to bring to like a regular game. I don't know what Rotom Sound would be, or Rotom, I guess it would be called Rotom Sound or something. I don't know what typing that would be. I think, what are types that use a lot of sound-based moves? It's very mixed, but I think the Rotom sounds pretty cool. I know that electric normal. I don't know that it could be electric normal though. What are the? Because like all of the other appliances have like a type that fits best to what they are, but normal just seems like it's this guy. Little piggy. Right, you're a normal type. I don't have one of you yet. But yeah, I guess electric normal. Could see that. I feel like I don't know if anything fits more. Normal is the sound type. Okay. Interesting. Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah, that's right. Shout out to. Yeah, I guess that makes sense. But yeah, I would love to see that form in a new game. Although, truthfully, I would love to see all the forms from Pokecopia come to a game at some point. I know they probably won't, and they likely never will for a situation like that. But I love the big, like, mossy Snorlax. I think that dude's so freaking cool. The Ghosty Chew, the Ghosty Ghost I can't speak today. The freaking Pikachu. That's the white Pikachu. Looks like a ghost. Y'all, it's been a week. What else? What else is in that game? Can't remember. Yeah, but yeah, Pokecopia looks pretty cool. That would be for sure a game that I'd play with folks if I were to get it. Oh yeah, they also mentioned that it's not the ghosty ghost. Yeah, right. You know, that makes total sense to you and everyone. Got some of the weirdest news from Pokecopia. It was something like only like the host of a world has to have. Or only, like, if you play in a group of 4, only 2 of the people have to actually have a Switch 2 with the game. They can share through the game cartridge share to a person with a Switch 1 and allow them to play as well, which I think is kind of stupid, personally. I totally may have misheard it, and I may just be talking about the left side of my butt cheeks, but who knows, honestly. There is an ad starting here in a second. It'll be about 30 seconds. I won't say anything too major while it's running. So yeah, Pokecopia. New sets coming to the TCG. I've never been into the TCG. I don't think I ever will be. If I ever did get into the TCG, though, I would pretty much basically only collect like cards of my favorites. So you'd see me with a binder full of just Wooper, like just Wooper cards. And then you might see me with like Giratina and Metagross and some of my other favorites. But yeah, if I ever got into the trading cards themselves, it would be purely just to collect Wooper. That was a video I saw on my TikTok feed the other day. And I reposted that because you better believe... No, it wasn't my TikTok story. It was on Instagram. That's what it was. Let's see. So yeah, trading cards. Paldea Wonder for Pokemon Pocket. I stopped playing Pocket a while ago. I've wanted to get back into it, but I know that I'm so far behind that my brain would be like, you're so far behind, you're doing this wrong, how could you? And so I'd rather just not give my brain ammunition in that regard. What was another? Oh yeah, you mentioned it in chat and I just glossed over it. Mega Dimensions DLC, we finally got the quest to go defeat and get Garchomp Z. I am wildly unenthused, honestly. For a Pokemon that already has a Mega, which is terrible. Or correction, it's not terrible. It just makes Garchomp worse, makes it slower. and speed is the name of the game in most every sense in Pokemon. So I don't know. I'll have to do that later tonight, probably. I may do that tonight while I'm testing out the capture card. I think that's pretty cool. What was the other thing? I think that was it, right? Anything else big? They're releasing this like mini Game Boy like music player thing, where they're gonna release in cartridges like every bit of music from Red and Blue, which I think is cool, but definitely a cash grab, a nostalgia grab as well. I agree with that too. I'm not a huge fan of the design. Like, I'm just massively underwhelmed with the Z. Like, Lucario Z, I think is great. I still have yet to use it because I haven't gotten the Lucario Knight Z, I don't think. Like, I love what Lucario Z is. I think it looks cool. But oh yeah, Absol Z too. I think Absol Z is pretty cool. Design-wise and just in general. But Garchomp Z, it's like, while the Z-type Megas were so already unnecessary, I think Garchomp's is even more unnecessary, truthfully. I don't know. Yeah, Mono Dragon Type 2 is a really weird. Really weird. What else? I think that was it for Pokemon Presents. It seemed to go by really quick. Oh yeah, they announced that frickin'. They officially announced. I am asleep. I did not realize that your AFK looks like that. That's wild. Spot could have been given to a more deserving ground dragon type. Pokemon's forgotten about it. Are y'all talking about Flygon? I'm gonna be so real, and this may just be the new gen Pokemon fan in me. Flygon doesn't seem like that crazy. And like, sure, there are some Pokemon that I think could like use a Mega. I honestly do not understand the hype behind being like, hey, it deserves a Mega. I don't personally understand it. I'm not gonna like crap on people for being like, hey, yeah, great, cool. We want this. Like, I'm not that kind of person as well. Flygon was Garchomp before Garchomp. Oh, okay. I guess that makes sense. Yeah, that I can understand. Killing the children. Killing the children in Minecraft. Must specify in Minecraft. Otherwise, the ATF gets worried. Not the ATF. Somebody gets worried if you say you're killing kids. I don't know. Probably a lot of people. Actually, probably not that many people, unfortunately. It's kind of a tragedy. But that is all that I will say on here, because we're not talking about that on my channel. We're talking about Pokemon! What else are we talking about? I think that's it. I don't know. Oh, yeah, Fire Red Leaf Green. No, that's what I was trying to say. Fire Red Leaf Green's back out, or it's out on the Switch now, but it's out as like a e-store game instead of as a like Nintendo Switch Online thing. Which I think that's another like kind of, I don't know if that's a questionable decision. I don't know. Something in me says that I think it should have been on the online thing. Other parts of me is saying, you know, I don't particularly care. Everybody online who's like freaking out of the fact that it's $20, I honestly could not care. If you wanted to get Fire Red Leaf Green physical copy right now, it's like it's what, like 4 times what it was originally, what it originally costed. And $20 is like a steal. Granted, yeah, it's online only, or it's digital only, meaning you know, when the servers shut down for Nintendo or whatever eventually far off in the future, you know, you'll lose that. But I don't know. I'll be so real with you. I do not see Nintendo. Yeah, 150-ish, right? But I do not see Nintendo somehow crashing and burning so bad that everything gets shut down within our lifetimes. I genuinely don't see that. I could see like popularity slightly like fading away in certain franchises because Nintendo's own fault for treating them that way, like Zelda was for the longest time until Breath of the Wild came out. And now, you know, it's back to a big fandom, and then, you know, Nintendo forgets about their 40th anniversary that came up like a couple days ago, but it's only because they, you know, were paying attention to Pokemon. But yeah, I don't see the servers getting shut down literally anytime soon, and so I personally don't see it that big of an issue. Spend $20. Or correction, I don't see that it's an issue to spend any amount of money on a game like that if you have the money for it. But the fact that it's $20, I think is great. I think you'd be stupid to argue that it's some crazy something stupid and Nintendo's cash grabbing, and clearly there's a market for it. I don't think it's a cash grab if there's a market. I think a cash grab is when you know that you have a market, but then you intentionally give them a crap product because you can make it cheaply. Fire Red Leaf Green is already a game that's out. Wii U and DS servers are all shut down though. Don't know when they'll decide to do that for the Switch. Yeah, but yeah, that's the thing. It's not going to be anytime soon because the Switch 2 just came out. Switch 2 is going to go through its whole lifespan, and then it's going to be well into the next console, whatever comes after the Switch 2, before they shut down the Switch servers. But like, I don't know. Again, $20 is $20, bro. Like, I get that in less than like an hour and a quarter of work. That's $20. Some people get that per hour. You know, so I don't know. That was another dumb argument that I saw recently online for, yeah, as you say, mind you, I bought both. Honestly, if I was interested in actually playing both and doing both things, I would buy both. I would. I don't have any particular reason to get both. And that's mainly because I know people who will get the other version so I can get those version exclusives so I can fill up my Pokedex. Like, for instance, my frickin' brother. I'm pretty sure Chris and I have talked about how he's going to, whatever version I get, he's going to get the opposite. So we can also do those trades. So there you go. There's another thing. So, you know, I don't know. I don't know, man. Something like that. Let's see. Again, I know that I started Pokemon, and not Pokemon. I know that I started Minecraft. I've got like literally no plan of what to do right now, and I also have like no energy to put brain power into it. I'm just gonna keep talking about Pokemon stuff. Another Pokemon thing I can talk about. Oh, we can go look at my next project, and I hope that I'll have it somewhat finished by the end of this weekend, is this area here. At my holdings, and the Ghost Gym. At my holdings is in control of, you know, this little lovely little area here. This is going to be the entrance to my Ghost Gym. You'll come down here, you'll enter in a little room on the left. That's going to be kind of a gym challenge of some kind. And then when you come out of the gym challenge, what I'm thinking is potentially you'll go in here, you'll get teleported to somewhere back in the overworld, into a specific spot, you go through the test. At the end, you come back, you come out through here, and now suddenly, hey, look at that. Here's the entrance to the gym, and now we fight. And the team I'm rocking with is kind of the team that I've already got right this second. And I can let me go home and show you guys. So we've got Marshadow. He is a ghost fighting type, or a fighting ghost, I think specifically. We just do this. Yeah. So Marshadow, fighting ghost. We have Gimme Ghoul. He's gonna transform into Golden Ghoul, which is a steel ghost. We've got Golett, who's going to turn into Golurk once we get the level cap high enough, which I think is here pretty soon. Let me actually look that up. Let me figure out Golett. Golett Pokemon. I want to say it's in the 40s. I'm going to go Bulbapedia. Game data. Yeah, 43. But right now the level cap in the world is 35. Next weekend it'll be up to 40. And the one after that, it'll be up to 45. Meaning at that point I can then evolve the Golett into Golurk, which is a ground ghost. We've got fire ghosts. We have ghost grass. And right now we have Yveltal in the slot. Dark flying type. He's going to be a Terra type ghost. But I'm trying to decide between Yveltal or who was the other? Look at my. It was one of the paradoxes I caught recently. Oh yeah, Iron Valiant. Terra Ghost Iron Valiant. I was considering. Terra Ghost Iron Valiant would be way more fair than Yveltal in that same slot, so I we'll have to see how that shakes out and how much ghost shards I get. Yeah, unfortunately no Metagross. The area that I was living in, I was living right over the biome where he does spawn, which I can go. Let's go back to it. Moving out. Here we go. So it's in this area here. The Dripstone Caves. Here we go. But the issue was, and it truthfully is this way too, in the mainline Pokemon games. Beldum, which evolves into Metang and Metagross. It has like one of the worst catch rates ever. It's like such a bad catch rate. And that does reign true here in this game as well. I've seen 2 Beldum attempted to catch both of them, and after using like 3 or 4 dozen Pokeballs on it, like Ultra Balls, Quick Ball, obviously used the Quick Ball at the start, and then Ultra Balls for the rest of the time. Both of them like ended up killing themselves with just personal done to themselves damage. In the end, it was like some recoil move and it killed it. And at that point I was like, all right, I think I'm giving up on Metagross. Which I think, that's going to be one sad thing that I've had to kind of reconcile with. Metagross, for my first like Pokemon player character, Metagross was like a pseudo starter for it, and I use the word pseudo not because it's a pseudo legendary, but only because it was always my trainer's second Pokemon. So two games thus far, it's been one of the first Pokemon on their teams. It was like a headcanon for mine that like their brother, like either their brother or their dad gave it to them, and every time they started a new adventure they would get another one. And obviously you couldn't do that in Legends ZA because the Beldum and whatnot are stuck so far in near the end game but then also there's no home support, so I couldn't transfer over shiny Metagross that I had, or shiny Beldum, sorry, that I had ready to send to ZA. And so once home support opens up for Legends ZA, I've got some shiny Beldum that I'll add to my already collected personal shiny Beldum, and hopefully Wind and Waves allows me to use Metagross, because that would be really funny. Honestly, I would be surprised if Metagross is on the base game's Pokedex. Just something about the vibe of Wind and Waves does not spell Beldum to me. But who knows? I might be surprised. I might be surprised. But yeah, no Metagross. It ended up being too much of a hassle to do it. There's the Tinkaton. Or Tinkatink. You are a big Tinkatink. Holy cow. Are you even a big Tinkatink? Who knows? Let's catch you and see. Oh, crit catch. We love to hear it. Hell yeah. Hell yeah, Batman. Hell yeah. Yes, ma'am. Hell yeah. Hell yeah, yes, ma'am. Yeah. There's this dude on TikTok that's like his whole bit. Like every video, it's just him going, hell yeah, and yes, ma'am. And I don't know why I find it so funny, but it is genuinely like one of the funniest. It is. Look, it's a big Tinkatink. I was right. God, that means it's gonna be a huge Tinkaton. It evolves. Holy cow, bro, that's crazy. Ugh. Trying to find my Ace Luxray on the server. That would be sick. Yeah, if you can find a Luxray. I've not seen any of its evolution line yet. I know that we had some on Thunderbird Season 1. But we did have a significantly different biome setup. It was also Big Chad guys instead of Mayview. Which honestly, I don't think any of them are watching. Don't tell anybody else who is on the server. I'm not a huge fan of Mayview. I think it's too simple. Obviously, I don't want it to be super complex. Like, sure, it's got Create. I'm never going to do anything with Create. I really am just not. I will let the other people in the server build the Create stuff, and I will ask to borrow it, or I will get their help to use it. I love the Cobblemon stuff. I love like new terrain generation and new structures. But I genuinely am kind of disappointed in Mayview. And my main complaint, genuinely, is the Nether. It really is. Because in Big Chad guys, it had the 4 base, like the 4 vanilla Minecraft. Or sorry, the 5 vanilla Minecraft. God dang. Do you have knockback or something? Holy cow. Punching me real far. You had the 5 base regular vanilla Minecraft biomes. But in Big Chat Guys, you also had like an additional 3 or 4 biomes that were not the vanilla ones. And it allowed for a ton more variation in the Nether. And I guess one thing I do like about Mayview over Big Chad Guys is the fact that, you know, we have artifacts that let me teleport and do stuff like that. Like, I could just look in a direction and suddenly I'm there. If it's close enough, right? Like, that's not something you could do in Big Chad Guys. But I miss the crazy terrain generation. I miss the islands in the sky. I miss, you know, had we had the, you know, Big Chad Guys Nether mods, it wouldn't take like any work at all to make a ghost gem in the Nether, because I can just repurpose an existing structure to do what I need. It's so cool. But here I've got to, you know, build it completely from scratch, which I don't have a problem with. Don't hear me say that, but I do. I just, you know, it'd be cool, you know? Get out of here, bro. Gonna swap weapons here. And crazy in here. Ooh, metal sound. Cool. What in the hell was that? What are you guys doing? My friend, I am Confucian. Diamond knife, that's kind of cool. Yeah, Chris has already talked about like, oh, season 3, like Dunderbird's season 3, and I'm just like, yeah, that'd be, like, yeah, that'd be cool. But I really don't. Not a fan of Mayview. He's talking about like just doing like Tekken, like one of those really old mods that was like the beginning of Create and the other things. I'm just like, I'm just gonna be so real with you. I will not join. I might completely sit out on that season, which would suck. I mean, I really wouldn't want to, but again, as I said earlier, very casual with the way I play games. If I'm not having fun, I'm not gonna play the game. And so often with games like that, I'm not having fun, man. That's probably what they're exploding, those freaking. What in the? Where'd I go, bruh? The little ring that showed up around him was supposed to point me to the nearest bastion, like I'm not already currently in the nearest bastion. I have been here. How have I been here and I didn't see like any of the other chests? It's like 4 chests that I haven't touched. What? That's weird. That's weird. It's very odd. I hate how Twitch counts views now. Because I know that I've got a couple people watching, right? Like I know, like Owen, I know you were watching. Have fun. I'll see you later, man. Like I know that like Owen's been watching basically this whole time thus far. And I'm pretty sure that others have at least like tuned in for at least a little bit. But my OBS only reports 1 viewer, and it's because I've got it open on my phone, and it counts me like as an active viewer because it knows it's me that's watching. They don't count like lurkers as viewers anymore, and it's so stupid. Like I know that it's for the sake of like, oh, you know, talk in your community and, you know, chat with people and whatever else. Just like let lurkers lurk, bro. Like 90% of my Twitch viewing is me lurking. I don't chat like hardly at all in other people's chat. Man, that's mainly because I do have a TTV or a TV at the end of my username. And I don't want to be like, here, look at me, I'm TV too. I stream on the channel on Twitch. Like, I don't want to do that on other people's things, and so I don't chat, but then I don't count as a viewer. If I don't participate, I think it's stupid. I think it's super dumb. Ow. 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 Hurts. It's very hot. Lava. Oh, look at this. Take off my helmet before I break it. Plant's just so funny to me. Like, why do they have a plant that can just explode in the nether? Like, why is that a thing? Why is that allowed to... There's more of it down here. Maybe it's not down here, maybe it's up here. Yeah, look, there's some right here. Just boom. Hey, look at that. That's what he's doing. He's just walking over it. It's so funny. It's stuff like that. I'm just like, why can't that have its own special biome and be like just a field of that? Also, why are these guys dropping the item bags? It's supposed to be just like the hostile mobs. These are like kind of slightly mostly passive, like I don't know. You know what? You guys know what I'm trying to say, right? What's up, Sam? Welcome, my friend. Okay, the Venipede is dead. The Venipede is dead. The Heavy is dead. Yeah, how you doing, man? We've been chatting Pokemon and just various other things throughout stream thus far, so you hadn't missed much. This is the first like actually playing the game I've been doing thus far. Oh, I'm very low health. Rutro Aragi? Let's go in. We're gonna do. I can't speak. We're gonna go repair our armor. That was only like slightly intentional. Like I can't lie and be like, oh, that whole thing was just me fumbling over my words. Like it wasn't. Like half of it was unintentional. The rest is like, oh, it's funny. I feel like I shouldn't lie to you guys. You'll deserve better. Something, I don't know. Gosh, alright. Let's see, are there any more things I can rant about? I feel like we don't have anything else to rant about. I may go ahead and end stream and save some energy for tomorrow, because I know tomorrow is going to be a long one. Tomorrow we'll be playing, hopefully, we'll be playing Destiny with Hope, Dan, and Fox. Dan and Fox are both on the Beyond Light DLC, and last I checked, we were waiting on Hope to get her Shadowkeep armor before we actually went into the Shadowkeep. And I was gonna help her get through the pyramid and get her onto Beyond Light as soon as possible. That way we can, you know, all be on the same page and, you know, be ready for when Chris gets back. Which I don't know why we wait for Chris to be back. He can catch up. He's played Beyond Light, you know, many times, but you know, it's the courtesy or whatever, you know. You guys know how it is. You guys know. Whew. Anyway. Yeah, I can't really think of anything else. Well, welcome on, man. But yeah, I may or may not stream this again tomorrow. I just need to kind of, you know, clear my head and, you know, get back in the groove of things and not have, you know, half an hour of my stream dedicated to talk about something completely different and actually, you know, getting in and playing the game. Which definitely, you know, partially threw me off today. But, you know, our next order of business is getting that, is going to be to get that building built, the Poke Center that's going to be incoming. I'm going to have to, you know, clear out some of these trees, and it's going to be, you know, full Poke Center as best I can. Going to have a TM shop, going to have a potion shop. We'll have healing items and other things, and obviously it's going to have its own healing machine so that I can, you know, help out with, or someone can help out with the post. Whew. What is it? If you lose a gym battle, you can get sent to the, or I'll have a warp pad that's like, hey, step on this to go heal your Pokemon, and then come back and challenge the gym. Anyway, yeah, I think that's gonna be it for me. It's a really short stream. Again, I apologize. But trying to, again, saving some energy for tomorrow and all the talking to folks I'll have to do this weekend. It's a bit more than usual. I'll be, you know, out and about and doing things. So, appreciate you guys being patient with the late start. Again, sorry for the short stream. But I will see you guys tomorrow for sure. Thank you, Sam. I was just about to say, obviously, final things as always. If you're interested in joining the community and seeing more, obviously follow here on Twitch, but check out our Discord, check out the VODs channel. I just uploaded a bunch of stuff to the VODs channel today, so at least one more video has gone public. Couple more videos are currently on private, but will be you know, publicized here in the next week. Community Day was just uploaded to it, so it's about a week or so away from being public. So if you happened to miss Community Day, it will be on the VODs channel soon. I've been looking forward to getting it up there because I may or may not turn that into its own video. Because we got, what, 6 hours of content essentially, which is insane. So there's more than enough to make a funny moments video and be like, hey, here's my friends and, you know, whatnot. But yeah, I think that's about it. Let me go and hop off. Oh, whoops. I keep doing that. Hopefully it doesn't cause any problems. Let's see. That's all sad sounding music. We don't want that. We don't want that. I have, hold on, where's all my happy sounding music? Why am I in that folder? Here we go, that's better. Okay. Alright, well, let me send us to our end screen. Again, thank you guys for being here. I will see you guys tomorrow. And yeah, that's about it. Y'all have a good night. Peace. It would help if I, you know, unmuted Spotify. There you go. Now I'll see you guys. Have a good night, Sam.